The Obama administration is trying to come up with a new location for the trial of alleged 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed after requests by New York City officials to move the trials away from Manhattan. But regardless of the backup location, Republicans don't want the trials in U.S. civilian courts at all. And later today, two lawmakers will propose a measure that would ban funding for any Justice Department prosecution of the 9/11 suspects in civilian courts. One of those lawmakers is Republican Congressman Frank Wolf of Virginia, and he joins us now from Capitol Hill. Congressman Wolf, a lot of people would suggest that there's some hypocrisy here, given that 119 or so terrorists were tried in civilian court in the Bush administration. How do you answer that charge?
Well, I was the author of the National Commission on Terror back in 1998. 30 people from my district died in the attack on the Pentagon. I think you learn lessons. What we believe is it's inappropriate to try them in New York City or major metropolitan areas. You're basically giving them a forum. Secondly, you're endangering the area. Thirdly, you're treating them better than you're treating a young American serviceman or woman who serves in the military. They go through a military court where I think that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and his people should also. The cost for New York City alone was going to be roughly about $1 billion, $215 million for the year to the city of New York, and then the rest for the Marshal Service. Misali was tried down here in Alexandria a number of years ago. He was in Alexandria for 4 years, and of course in those days the courthouse was not where it is now today. I mean, many changes have taken place. We believe, and many members, most members, and the bill that we're putting in today is a bipartisan bill. We have Republicans and Democrats. It ought to be done on a military base and ought to be done through the military.
Here's what David Axelrod, the White House advisor, said about that on Meet the Press this weekend. Watch.
When we tried Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, in the civilian courts for his crime, when we tried the 20th bomber, 9/11 conspirator, Moussaoui, in Virginia for his crime, nobody said anything.
Congressman, did you say anything about Moussaoui or Richard Reed?
Yeah, the Moussaoui trial went well, but it went on for 4 years, and we have learned a lot from it. Down in Alexandria at that time, there was not a hotel. There was not the Patent and Trademark Office. There was not the Carlisle condominium. Secondly, the war on terror has changed quite dramatically since then. The administration sent 6 people who were in Guantanamo Bay back to Yemen, and you had the radical clerk who was radicalizing them. It would be a mistake for the safety and the security.
If you want to go that route, I mean, some of the men who were released by the Bush administration went back to Yemen and were the ones that were essentially training Abdul Muttalib. But back to the point, you said a moment ago.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right, and I think you've learned from those mistakes. Because the Bush administration made a mistake, it doesn't mean you make a mistake now. And on the shoe bomber, he pled guilty. It never went to trial. And thirdly, the shoe bomber took place, Reed, shortly thereafter, 9/11. The world has changed. Our enemies are looking for chemical, biological, nuclear. Now you've seen even the people up in New York City, the mayor and all. It is not a good idea. What we're saying is, if you do this, you do it on a military base in a very remote area, or you do it down in Guantanamo Bay, but it'd be a military court.
Well, and just to clarify, because I think you said a moment ago that the problem is with urban and city areas, but in fact, you're saying that any money spent on any civilian court, you want it stripped out.
Correct. We believe it ought to be on a military base in a very remote area, or you can also do it down in Guantanamo Bay. Correct.
Congressman Frank Wolf of Virginia. Congressman, good of you to join us this morning. It's a fascinating debate, and we appreciate you coming on this morning with us.
Sure. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. James O'Keefe, the ringleader of the young men arrested for allegedly trespassing in a senator's office and maliciously interfering with her phone lines, talks for the first time since his arrest. He's defending his actions and raising more questions than he answers. Plus, basket brawl. Some Pennsylvania high school students could be in serious trouble because of this fight caught on tape between players and fans of the opposing team. And Rush Limbaugh goes gaga over Lady Gaga.
Investors are demanding more for their money. Good.
This time, I'm watching fees like a hawk.
I hate hidden fees.
Why should I have to pay for something that I shouldn't have to pay for?
TD Ameritrade's pricing is clear and it's straightforward.
Yeah, it's spelled out up front.
No hidden fees.
No bait and switch.
No gotchas.
And there's one flat rate for online equity trades.